Hello, beautiful people. My name is Jo. Let's talk about the books I read in March. So in the month of March, I read 8 books, 3 of which were fantasy romance, 4 were contemporary romance, which is weird because normally we lean further on the fantasy side. And we had 1 manga this month, which I'm really excited about. All of those amounted to around 4,170 pages. So the first book that I finished in the month of March was Mother of Death and Dawn by Carissa Broadbent. This is book number 3 in the War of Lost Hearts series. This series follows our main character named Tasana. In the first book, she is a slave and she's working to gain her freedom. When she finally does gain her freedom, she makes her way to the Orders, which are like magic wielder army people. I don't know. She hopes to join their ranks, train with them, and hopefully go back to rescue the slaves that she left behind. This series has a lot of ups and downs, has a lot of twists and turns. This last book was fucking phenomenal. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. Carissa Broadbent writes her characters in such a way that even if they are evil, even if they are making horrible decisions, nasty, nasty things, you feel something for them. Even her villains are human, and I really, really love that about this series. It made it really difficult for me to choose sides when it comes to who's good and who's bad. There's this really great gray area that's explored between the good and the bad, you know? If you've not checked out this series, you definitely should. It gives Throne of Glass meets Mistborn vibes, and it's really, really great. Next, I read All You Need Is Kill by Takeshi Obata. I bought this years and years and years ago. It is a manga, like omnibus. It's a one-shot type of situation. I'm so not in the zone with the manga lingo. In the story, humanity is battling against this alien race called the Mimics. Kaiji is just one of the many soldiers who are put into this like battle suit thing and sent out into the front lines. During his first battle with the Mimics, he unfortunately dies, only to be reborn again on the day before the battle, and he continuously starts living this day over and over and over again. During these loops, he gains more information about the Mimics as well as more combat experience, so he's getting a little bit better on the battlefield. One day he comes across this woman, warrior, soldier person named Rita, who seemingly has been through this sort of loop experience before and has found a way to break it. It was really, really good. I really enjoyed it. I really liked the art style. It's very gory, obviously, because you're dealing with a battlefield and aliens. I don't know why I put off reading it for so long because it's been on my shelf forever. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. Next, I read my favorite book of the month, which was Consider Me by Becca Mack. This is the first book in the Playing for Keeps series. This is a hockey romance book following our main character, Carter Beckett. He's kind of like a hotshot in the NHL. He's a ladies' man. He's kind of an asshole. He's arrogant, all of those great things. When he comes across the one woman who does not fall for his shit, doesn't want to sleep with him, and he embarks on this kind of uphill battle to kind of win her over, I guess. I've talked about this series multiple times since I finished this book. I love Carter Beckett. Carter is an absolute ray of sunshine. He has an obsession with Oreos. He is golden retriever to the max. Olivia obviously wants nothing to do with him at first because of his reputation, but when he starts to break down his walls a little bit and let her see inside, she sees that he's real squishy and nice on the inside, and he might be more than his reputation may make him out to be. I really, really love this book. I'm excited to continue on with the series. I have the second book on my shelf waiting for me. I gave this one 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 stars. It is amazing. I absolutely loved it. Praise by Sarah Kate. This is book 1 in the Salacious Players Club. This is a ex-boyfriend's dad kind of romance. There's some dom sub action in there. At the beginning of the story, our heroine Charlotte has ended a relationship with this asshole pretty much, and she wants her half of the deposit back. Her asshole ex-boyfriend tells her that his dad has it, so she goes and gets it. He thinks that she's his new spicy secretary, and then shenanigans ensue, obviously. This is a little bit of a taboo romance. I'm not used to reading taboo romances, but I really liked this one. I don't know if I'm going to continue on with the series, but it was a nice little experience for me. I enjoyed it. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. Next, I went back to sports romance and I read Mile High by Liz Tom Ford. This is book 1 in the Windy City series. So this is another one of those where you've got the hotshot NHL player who's kind of an asshole. He has this horrible reputation, yada yada yada. Insert Stevie, our heroine. She is the newest flight attendant for the teams, the hockey team's private plane. She doesn't take his shit and she is very, very not interested in his shenanigans. I felt like Evan Zanders, the hero of the story, was a little bit of an asshole at the beginning, and I didn't really like him at the beginning, but that's okay. He grew on me. Stevie, I absolutely fucking loved her. Both of these characters are a great example of people who have really, really hard shells on the outside, but that they're super squishy on the inside. When you learn more about Xander's, he is definitely giving off the we accept the love we think we deserve type of trope. We have a curvy heroine in this book. This is definitely an irritation to love type of situation, and because of that, there is so much banter. All in all, I really, really love this book, and I'm eager to continue on with this series. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. Next, for the SJM along this month, we read House of Sky and Breath by Sarah J. Maas. This is book 2 in the Crescent City series. This was a reread for me. The first time I read it, I really struggled with it. It took me a lot to get through the first like 600, 700 pages. It was really good this time around. I found myself more interested in the mystery aspect, though Danica did get on my nerves a little bit, as well as Bryce surprisingly got on my nerves a little bit in this book. I definitely enjoyed it a lot more than I did on my first read of it. I'm really happy that I got the chance to reread this, especially since the 3rd book in this series has been announced. January 30th, cannot come soon enough. But yeah, I gave it 4 out of 5 stars on this reread, and I enjoyed it. Astrid Parker Doesn't Fail by Ashley Herring Blake. This is book number 2 in the Bright Falls series, book 1 being Delilah Green Doesn't Care. Last year I read Delilah Green. I really, really loved it. I think this was on my 23 books to read in 2023. If so, I've read it. I've accomplished at least one of those books. But in this story, we are following Astrid Parker. Her design business is kind of going under, so when she gets the opportunity to kind of renovate the Everwood Inn for this HGTV type TV show, she jumps at the chance. What she is not expecting is the whirlwind that is Jordan Everwood, who is the granddaughter of the owner of the inn. Upon their first meeting, Jordan spills coffee all over Astrid's ivory dress, and that just kind of sets the tone. When they start the renovation, Astrid and Jordan have very, very different views on how they want the Everwood Inn to look. Because of this, there is a little bit of rivalry that sparks up. I really love this one as a sequel to Delilah Green. I do have to say that Astrid does make some questionable decisions in this one. I loved watching Jordan break down Astrid's kind of perfect exterior and forcing her to kind of grapple with who she is and what she actually wants. I really enjoyed this one, and I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. Lifeblood by Amara Ray. This is book 1 in the Immortal Coven series. This was on my 5-star predictions list, and unfortunately it did not meet the mark. This is a witches and warlocks capture captives type of situation. The first couple chapters were a lot of info dump about the witches and the coven and the history of the world and all of these different things that I just felt really, really, really bogged down right out of the gate. When we finally met the hero, when the kidnap happened, I didn't like the hero. I did not like the hero. I felt like the hero and the heroine both were kind of two-dimensional. Colette is a life witch, and she pretty much puts everyone's needs above her own. She forgives really easily. She loves really hard, these types of things. And our hero, Maki, kind of has 2 different moods. He fights and he fucks, and that's it. I just didn't like him at all. Because of the fated mates aspect to this, Maki felt like he had ownership of Colette and certain parts of her body, and there was a lot of talk of that, and I just found it really icky. It didn't work for me. It wasn't my type of book. That's okay. I gave it 2.5 stars. So those are all of the books that I read in the month of March. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please make sure to like and subscribe if you have not already. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I will see you next time.